As I let my pizza cool, I just report that my backpack, my knapsack, my rucksack was 15 kilos. That's 33 pounds. Pretty heavy for me. And reading in some of my adventures or histories or whatever, I see something about soldiers marching long distances with 60-pound packs. My goodness. I could barely lift one, let alone carry it for miles marching. But anyway, 33 pounds. I don't usually get that heavy, but I did. Apfelschorle, 1.5 kilos. Brandex 7-Up, 1.5 kilos. A jar of sour cherries, which I am at 680 grams in the jar. It will fit into one of my 750 milliliter Jello boxes, and so I'm planning to just warm the whole jar full of sour cherries, sugared, maybe a drop or two of almond aroma, and 9 grams of pre-soaked gelatin. We'll see how that turns out. I think it will be lovely. It's a lot easier than making cherry pie. I mean, I love cherry pie, but I don't love mixing the butter and the flour, even with my pie crust maker thing with 4 dull knives on the end of it for chopping the butter into the flour. I used to freeze the butter so that it would, be in little chunks or whatever, wouldn't melt. I don't do that anymore. If I do make a pie, I'm going to use just butter out of the butter holder in the fridge or whatever. I don't mind that the crust is not so flaky. In fact, flaky's not really what I like. I like crunchy. So I have made it easier on myself, and maybe I'll make a pie again one of these days. Mostly only when I get fresh sour cherries, and then it's kind of an obligation to turn it into the best thing I can make, which, of course, is a cherry pie. Someday I'll figure out how to make what Mother called cherry pudding, which was sour cherries. We had a sour cherry tree in the backyard, so if one of us, like me, would climb up the ladder and bring along a bucket or whatever, we would have something with cherries. The other thing besides her cherry pudding was so-called brandied cherries, which she put up in a canning jar. As far as I know, in this case, brandied meant some vinegar and sugar. Nothing more or less. And I loved them. They were a special delicacy, a special treat that showed up at Thanksgiving dinner, Christmas, maybe Easter, the rare special occasions. So they were a special treat. Kind of like dried corn, also a special treat. That I now make for myself. I buy in 2 cans of corn, like Niblets corn, cheap. I think 45 cents a can or 49 cents a can. pour off the liquid and drink it, and then dry the corn in the oven on a blech for quite a while. Usually, I think an hour or more, maybe 2 hours, at around 100 degrees or 90 degrees or something Celsius. Because proper dried corn from Cope's Brothers in America, in Lancaster County probably, cost a tremendous amount of money here. It's like 30 euros or something for a package, 7.5 ounce package. I may be exaggerating, but it's something awful like that. It's really fucking expensive. And if I just dry, ordinary, cheap corn, and then when I'm about to cook it, about to soak and cook it, I put it into my coffee grinder that is only for spices and dried corn and things like that, for about 8 seconds, so that it gets chopped up a little more like the proper dried corn. And it's good enough. I really do like it. It takes 2 hours to cook it, an hour to soak, an hour to cook, then add some milk and 5 minutes more. That's the theory anyway. So, back to my pizza. I can't wait. Ciao.